The Tribal Chief! He was the guy to kick off Friday Night Smackdown this week. And of course, very, very interestingly, with his new t-shirt that is available now on WWEshop.com. I tell you what, I love that. The stars, life ain't fair. They know what they're doing. Tonight, they was face to face, him and Solo, with Kevin and Sammy. Sammy would say to Roman, "You're not as good as the Usos." That seemed to get it, Roman, but then it was the Usos who jumped Sammy and Kevin. But actually, Roman wasn't happy with that. Roman doesn't want the Usos thinking for themselves. And of course, he wasn't happy that they did. And then he bumped into Solo. And the reaction, oh boy, Solo didn't look happy. Look at Heyman, almost looking scared. Roman looked scared of Solo Sikoa tonight. Then, rather interestingly, backstage, when Roman was telling off the Usos, note Solo never took his eyes off of Roman. Usually Solo would stare into the distance. Tonight, he stared at Roman. But at one point, it definitely looked like Roman Reigns was about to cry tonight. And I think that was because someone took a sign saying "Suffer in Succotash," and he realised that even the Tribal Chief character will never let him escape Suffer in Succotash. This is Things You Might Have Missed from Friday Night Smackdown. Make sure you've hit the like button. And if you are new to the channel, it would be appreciated if you hit the subscribe button too. WWE paid tribute tonight to superstar Billy Graham. Billy Graham passing away Wednesday night as announced by Ric Flair on social media. WWE's tribute video included showing you Billy Graham winning the WWF World title, his Hall of Fame induction, highlights throughout his career, moments with Arnold Schwarzenegger. They literally went to town to show you the importance of such an iconic legend in WWE. Tonight marked the debut of the Boogalicious Knights. Get in! This is the tag team for the future, LA Knight and Rick Boogs. A great highlight for Rick Boogs, showing off his strength as he moves from Raw back to SmackDown. LA Knight and Boogs worked well as a team, but after the Street Profits were the victors after pinning Rick Boogs, it didn't take long for LA Knight to break Boogalicious hearts around the world and turn on Rick Boogs, which makes a lot of sense. You're now going to have Rick Boogs have a reason to have a match with LA Knight, which will probably give LA Knight his win, which will probably elevate him higher, and it gives a reason for LA Knight to be on TV. Overall, very good, except they broke up the Boogalicious Knights. God damn you, WWE. Personally, I'd let the tag team continue a little bit more. Have Rick Boogs' energy really annoy LA Knight, and I think that would have been more successful for LA Knight than actually just probably a pinfall victory next week over Rick Boogs, right? Liv and Raquel are not the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. This is an absolute travesty of justice to the women's tag division. Liv and Raquel have relinquished the belts because of Liv Morgan's injury. There will be a fatal four-way tag team match in 2 weeks' time on Raw, where Raquel will have to find a new tag team partner, and they've basically screwed Liv Morgan. They did highlight the moment Liv Morgan got injured last week, was this kick in the corner, which is totally different to what they actually showed you on Raw, a completely different spot. So no idea if there was some confusion about the injury or anything like that. Bayley also announced tonight that Dakota Kai was injured last week. That's why it'll be Bayley and Io Sky fighting for the tag team title belts. So in all seriousness, let's just hope Liv Morgan and Dakota Kai heal up and come back very, very soon. But we all know really what's going on. Conspiracy theory time. They knew Liv Morgan was never losing that women's tag team championship, so they had to take it off her some way, didn't they? And this was the perfect opportunity. Otherwise, you would have never got the belt back, because Liv would have been champ for life. Asuka was in action this week, and of course Asuka took on Zelina Vega, who during her entrance was giving out the flip-flop. She gave it to a fan. Now, you got to wonder about this, because giving someone a flip-flop or a shoe of any kind is a bit dangerous in this world. You know that's going to be on eBay tonight. Zelina Vega worn flip-flop. And it's probably going to sell for a lot of money. But it was a decent little match, to be fair. Zelina and Asuka both actually worked well together, so that was fun to see. I have no idea what Asuka was doing in this photo, but I took the screenshot, so I wanted to include it. If you know what the hell she's doing, please let me know in the comment section down below. Asuka would defeat Zelina Vega, which would bring out Bianca Belair, the mist in the face. Isn't this just the same build we saw for WrestleMania? They are literally, by the way, if you didn't know, they're going to have a match at Night of Champions. WWE has returned to Fall Guys with downloadable content for skins, including Macho Man Randy Savage, Asuka, Mankind, Bianca Belair, Undertaker, and Rey Mysterio. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Almost as cool as Pretty Deadly, making their SmackDown match debut this week. They cooked up some victory before the match, and it definitely helped them as they were successful. Very, very interesting. Looked really good in the ring, to be fair. Very interesting entrance. I think it was a remix of their NXT theme, I think. Slow motion entrance, which I thought was really cool. It worked. Obviously, we saw some blood in the match, so they don't really normally see that. They did clean it up during commercial break, though. They still allowed the Brawling Brutes to look good, so I thought that was pretty interesting. And the fact that they did the whole character stuff where, you know, one was tied in the ropes, they hit their finishing move called Spilt Milk, and then as the other one wasn't legal, he went back to the ropes like he did nothing. It made a lot of sense. Perfect heel tag team. Very excited to see what Pretty Deadly do on the main roster. Just like I am Grayson Waller, who debuted the Grayson Waller effect on SmackDown this week. Now, interestingly, they did have the stuff going round at the bottom of the screen, but there was no phone. There was no obviousness that it was being broadcast on Instagram Live. I didn't check Instagram, but if you're not doing that, please do that. Just let him have his phone for his talk show, Triple H. It just makes it seem a little bit more real. Although, obviously, when he was talking to AJ, you saw this user pop up with "the end is near." And then shortly after, the same user would say TikTok, planting Easter eggs for Karrion Kross, who later on in the night called out Alan himself. That's right, AJ Styles, Alan. Alan has a tarot card. Karrion Kross is going for AJ. Oh, the spoilers are out there. Kross and AJ are going to face each other next week. And I haven't seen the result of that match, but with AJ heading to Night of Champions to face Seth, I don't see him taking a loss to Karrion Kross. I don't know why you do this before Night of Champions. Seems a bit weird. And speaking of all the debuts tonight, we did see the debut of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Very interestingly, they kept their NXT finisher. Lots of praise for that move. Very interested again to see what they do on the main roster. Really cool, Paul Heyman announced tonight backstage that in 2 weeks' time, we get the 1,000-day celebration of Roman Reigns' title streak on SmackDown. Heyman would also lay the Easter egg. It's only the LWO. You don't need Roman and Solo. And the Usos lost in the main event to the LWO. Roman was pissed. But interestingly, Solo went to get up and Roman stopped him. Was Solo going to go and attack the Usos? Notice Paul Heyman as well. His face, he's not happy, but he's more looking like he's scared of what's going to happen next. Very interesting SmackDown. Lots to talk about. Upset they broke up Boogalicious Nights. Broken-hearted over Liv Morgan. So I can't give it a high score, can I? The most I can give it is like a 2. No, I'm joking. It's a 7.5 out of 10 from me. Subscribe, turn on notifications, like, share. Next time. Peace!